saying Kak Niri from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Hello, Majlis from Qatar. So right now is 1 p.m. in Qatar. Hello, Chris Chong from Malaysia. Hello, Lani, Jakarta, Indonesia. Mutita, Cambodia. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen from all around the world. Again, thank you so much for your time that you joined us today. I believe that you will learn a lot from our speaker. Okay, before we move on to the main event, I need to share a few important announcements. First one, today's event will be conducted in English. Live translation is available in Bahasa Indonesia and Khmer. For other languages, you may use the caption feature to view the translation. The second one, there will be a Q&A session with the speaker after his sharing. So if you already have your question, feel free to write them down in the chat box or the Q&A menu. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, please do not hesitate to support the speaker by sending emoji, reaction, positive comment throughout the event. All right, so we need your energy, we need your strength, okay, to give to us as well as our speaker, okay? So without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our amazing speaker. So he is a seasoned lawyer with over 30 years of experience. He specializes in corporate governance, regulatory affairs, and government relations, guiding board and executives to achieve strategic goals. His career highlight includes serving as a general counsel at African Capital Alliance, chief regulatory officer at Ibadan, electricity distribution company, and regional director at New Globe. Currently, as an executive consultant at Corey Partner, he combines legal expertise with trading, solution writing, and sustainability advocacy. So his PhD research on the plastic pollution reflect his commitments to the environmental solution. Ladies and gentlemen, join me welcome Mr. Olusala Adeyemi. And his topic today is the path to happiness, the ultimate success. So I would like to invite our speaker, Mr. Sola, right now.
Thank you very much, MC. Let me welcome you, dear friends, to this eye-opening presentation. I'm grateful that you are here, and I do not take lightly the gift of your time and attention. In a world where distraction is everywhere and people are busy chasing one thing or the other, the fact that you have chosen to be here today is evidence of your longing for something deeper, something real, something more serious. The purpose of my message today is to share with you some thoughts which are very close to my heart. These truths have shaped my own journey and I believe can transform your own journey if you take them with you. The theme of our gathering is deep, the path to happiness, the ultimate success. Why this theme? Because if you look closely at life, every effort, every ambition, every struggle, whether for wealth, education, power, or even family, is just pointing towards one ultimate desire, the longing to be happy. Next slide. The quest for happiness is the oldest pursuit of mankind. Every person, whether rich or poor, young or old, educated or uneducated, they long for happiness. Yet, practically, many have been led to what can be described as a wild goose chase. Happiness seems to go away when we think we have it. We chase it in money, in relationships, in position, possession, and entertainment. Yet, the more we chase, the more elusive happiness becomes. Millions live their entire lives chasing happiness without ever finding it. Why? Because many mistake temporary pleasures for lasting happiness. Some imagine that once they acquire material wealth, they'll be happy automatically. Yet, if you ask the wealthy, those who are honest with themselves will admit that riches do not guarantee happiness. In fact, wealth often brings new challenges, sleepless nights, worrying about investments, the fear of betrayal, not knowing who to trust, the constant anxiety of losing it all, and sometimes even this insatiable greed for more and more. Others chase fame or the admiration of the opposite sex or the thrill of sports and pleasure. These things can bring moments of excitement, yes, but after the lights go out, after the cheering fades, after the applause stops, many discover an emptiness that no amount of external achievement can fill. Have you noticed? A man may smile on the red carpet, yet cry in the dark. A woman may drive the finest car, yet feel alone in her heart. A child may have all the toys in the world, yet still be restless. The quest for real happiness remains unquenched. So let us pause and ask ourselves plainly, what is happiness? Happiness is not a car. Next slide. A house or a bank account or even applause. Happiness is not the fleeting emotions tied to circumstances. Happiness is a state of being. It is a blissful condition of inner freedom when your innermost self is light, unburdened, and at peace. It is the calm that comes when you know who you are, where you are going, and that your life is in harmony with higher purpose. True happiness is not dependent on what you have, but on who you are within. It flows from the inside out. That is why two people can face the same situation, one grumbles and despairs, while the other radiates peace. One carries burden and the other carries light. Happiness then is both inward and outward. Inwardly, it is the lifting of the soul into freedom, clarity, and joy. Outwardly, it expresses itself in smiles, kindness, generosity, gratitude, and peace with others. It is possible to smile even in hardships, and it is possible to cry even in a palace. That is why we must learn what brings real happiness and work with it daily. So, the question becomes, How can we be truly happy? I propose 5 guiding principles that you can see on the board that can help us. One, use the creative power responsibly. Two, learn how to receive everything that we need. Number three, live in the sense of the law of sowing and reaping. Four, appreciate your talents, your gifts, and use them very well. And five, in setting your goals, be natural and unassuming. Next slide. We now go to the first one. Use the creative power responsibly. There is a power that you and I are permitted to use. This is not the electrical power sold by distribution companies. It is not political power or financial power. No, this power is far greater, far more constant, far more intimate. It is the creative power of the Almighty. These pure streams, it streams continuously, ceaselessly, and abundantly through all of creation. It is present in the air you breathe, is in every drop of water, in the rising tree, in the crawling insect, in the soaring bird, and of course, in all human beings. There is no place in the universe where this power is absent. In us, it functions in a special way. We are like lenses. Just like a lens gathers sunlight and focuses it to ignite a flame, we gather this creative power and focus it through our thoughts, through our inner intentions, our intuition. This is why our thoughts are never neutral. Every thought is a seed. Every thought channels power. And here is the key. This power is pure. That means it takes effect in accordance with the quality of the thoughts that direct it. If our thoughts are pure, noble, loving, and uplifting, the power creates beauty, peace, and blessing. If our thoughts are selfish, bitter, fearful, or destructive, the power still works, but in ways that harm us and harm others. This truth is both sobering and liberating. Sobering because we realize that much of the chaos we see in the world is a harvest of wrong thoughts and intentions. Liberating because we realize that if we change our thoughts, we can change our lives. Let's pause for a moment and reflect. What kind of thoughts do I entertain daily? Are they thoughts of fear, resentment, greed, or worry? Or are they thoughts of gratitude, love, courage, and faith? Every day, this creative power flows through you, whether you are aware of it or you are not. You are a channel. The question now is, are you using this power responsibly? When you understand this truth, life becomes empowering. You no longer sit there waiting for others to make you happy. You no longer blame circumstances for your unhappiness. Instead, you begin to consciously guide your inner life, and happiness becomes something you create moment by moment through the purity and direction of your own thoughts. A man who entertains thoughts of envy cannot escape bitterness. A woman who cultivates thoughts of kindness cannot escape joy. Why? Because the power works exactly as directed. Dear friends, responsibility begins in our mind. If you want peace, cultivate peaceful thoughts. If you want joy, nurture joyful thoughts. If you want love, harbor loving thoughts. And if you want happiness, think and live in ways that uplift your soul. Now let's go to number two. Next slide. How to receive everything that we need. Let me share a story from my own childhood. As young boys, my brother and I were taught not to scramble for gifts at parties. In those days, birthday celebrations were frequent, and there are always gifts to children. Whenever the big aunties bring out fanciful toys, sweets, most of the children will rush forward, pulling at their dresses, shouting for attention, competing fiercely. But we were taught differently. We sat quietly, calmly, without scrambling. And time and again, the aunties would notice us and say, these two boys who did not push or grab will be given their gifts first. That childhood lesson has stayed with me. In life as well, people scramble for blessing, running, shouting, pushing, and exhausting themselves in the chase. But life is not governed by noise or struggle. Life is governed by law. The higher law I'm speaking of is the law of attraction. What does this even mean? It means that everything we need in life comes to us naturally when we align with the order of creation. We do not need to scramble, manipulate, or strive anxiously. We simply need to live in harmony with the laws God has placed in His creation. When we live simply, walk steadily, and remain inwardly upright, motivated by love in all our actions, we naturally attract what we need. When we are grateful for the present moment, without postponing our happiness to one day when we have more money, more fame, or more possession, we begin to see that life already unfolds in abundance. This is not empty theory, it is law. Just as gravity holds the earth, these laws hold our lives. Align yourself with them, and blessings will flow naturally. If you oppose them, you exhaust yourself in futility. Instead of scrambling, open yourself to the Word of God and live in harmony with His laws. And then, at the right time, in the right way, what you need peace, provision, opportunities, joy will flow to you in rich abundance. Happiness, therefore, is not found in anxious pursuits, but found in alignment. It is not a reward for frantic effort, but happiness is the harvest of quiet trust and obedience to divine law. Number three, next slide. Live in the sense of the law of sowing and reaping. There is an eternal law that governs all of life, the law of sowing and reaping. This law is not negotiable, it's universal. What you sow, you must reap. It does not matter who you are, where you live, or how much influence you have. This law operates with impartial justice. Nature testifies to it daily. If you plant maize, you reap maize. If you plant pineapples, pineapples will grow. No farmer plants thorns and expect rice. You can't plant wheat and expect roses. This, the truth is that this law is not only for agriculture, it governs every area of life. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Every thought you have is a seed. Every word you utter is a seed. Every action you take also plants something in the soil of life. Sooner or later, the harvest will return to you. Think for a moment. What seeds are you planting? If you sow kindness, kindness will find its way back to you. Sometimes from the most unexpected people. If you sow generosity, opportunities will arise to bless you in return. And if you sow bitterness, hatred, or dishonesty, you cannot escape the harvest of sorrow and brokenness. A good real life example that fits well with this law of sowing and reaping is Oprah Winfrey. She often speaks of how, even when she had very little, she cultivated the habit of giving. Early in her career, Oprah supported students, families, and causes quietly without fanfare. She once said that giving was a way of acknowledging that she has already been blessed and that generosity multiplies blessings. Over time, as she continued to sow seeds of kindness, mentorship, and financial support, she reaped an extraordinary harvest, not only in her wealth, but in influence and goodwill around the world. Many of the opportunities that came to her life came from people and organizations she has given to or she has supported. This mirrors the principle perfectly. The small seeds of goodness and generosity we sow often returns in multiples from unexpected ways. On the other hand, we know of many who sow seeds of dishonesty, cheating in business, deceiving friends, exploiting others. For a season, it may look as though they are winning, but the harvest will come. It cannot be cheated. It will come when least expected, and the reaping will be bitter. This law also teaches us about multiplication. A farmer never reaps exactly what he sows, he reaps much more. One grain of maize produces a whole cup with hundreds of grains. Likewise, one seed of kindness multiplies into abundant kindness in return. But one seed of hatred can also multiply to conflicts, to betrayal and loss. So, dear friends, I urge you, live daily with awareness of this law. Wake up every morning and ask yourself, what seeds will I sow today in my family? What seeds will I sow in my workplace? What seeds will I sow in the marketplace, on the road, in conversations? And then sow deliberately. Sow joy, sow peace, sow encouragement, sow excellence in your work, sow honesty, even when no one is watching you. And life will ensure that when harvest comes, it will be good for you. But here is something equally important. To receive, you must be open. Many people unknowingly, they block their blessing because they cannot receive. When someone compliments them, they deflect. Oh, it was nothing. When life gives them a small gift, the ray of sunshine, coolness of rain, freshness of morning air, they ignore it as if it were nothing. Yet, gratitude is the open hand that receives abundance. Learn to say thank you. Learn to notice the daily gifts of life. Learn to accept help without pride. Doing so, you will keep the channel of giving and receiving open. The law of sowing and reaping is not punishment, it is provision. It is God's way of ensuring justice and blessing in His creation. Sow wisely, sow abundantly, and your harvest will be happiness. Number 4 now.